where there were only walls. I'm going to introduce you to kick off our final session at ANMP, and we've got such an extraordinary lineup all the way through. Every single mentor is extraordinary, strong, and we have some extraordinary strength throughout this whole session. I want to tell you about a story about a boy and a girl. Dallas came from an entrepreneurial family and was on the path, typical path. He thought it'd be the right path. Goes to college, goes on to law school, MBA. At that point, everybody think, wow, awesome. Reality is he was $200,000 in student debt. Goes out, gets into financial services, killing it, crushing it, 2008. He's a single dad, had a child at 17. He's now faced with massive debt, has limited options, has to head to Utah real quick to crash on his sister's couch just so there's a roof over the head. Not sure what the next step's going to be. There's a girl named Rylee, and she actually didn't grow up in an entrepreneurial family. She's from the country, blue-collar family, never understood or had heard or had the kinds of thoughts or conversations about taking control of life and being entrepreneurial. She was going to go to nursing school, thought that might be her path, decided and realized it wasn't. Got a job in accounting, and she said, again, got married, realized almost the next day when we woke up that was the mistake. Now she's a single mom. But with accounting, even in her early 20s, she said, I was at least making enough money to get by. Again, the same thing happened. She was able to finally buy her first home. But the crash back in 2008-9, suddenly she's in foreclosure. But she happens to also be in Utah. And a boy and a girl at their lowest point happen to meet. And he says, well, listen, there's space on the couch, a little extra room. Maybe rather than being homeless or not having anything, come on in. And so they suddenly found each other at a time where they realized they were meant to be, at a time when they really couldn't be anything. And yet, as they were trying to figure it out, someone said, let us show you a concept, if you're willing to work, and you can make it happen, that you can start from nothing and you can be everything. In late 2009, off they go. He said it was hard. It was a hard process. He said it took 6 months, and I finally had a $1,000 week. But 12 months after that, we were finally at a 6-figure pace. Now they've gone on to take that. Now, the way it got started is he was trying to figure out something to get by, so he started to get online and just try and figure out a few things online with social media. And then it was the realizations, maybe I need to combine the two. And now they've been able to do that successfully, built teams of over 60,000, 7-figure earners. But here's the point. No matter where you start, if your willingness to bust your ass is great enough and your vision is strong enough, there's no limit to where you can go. So we've got a quick, fun intro for them, and then we're going to charge and make them come to the stage. Guys, fire away that little intro. Yeah.
You have to eat the dream. You have to sleep the dream. You have to dream the dream. You got to touch. You have to see it when nobody else sees it. You have to feel it when it's not tangible. You have to believe it when you cannot see it. You got to be possessed with the dream.
Good morning, everybody. Hey. Woo! Put your hands together.
You guys fired up?
Who's fired up this morning?
Everybody up? Yeah.
Woo!
Keep it moving.
Come on. I can't be the only one dancing.
You ready for a great
This
day?
music makes you want to move.
Ready for a great day here? Who's ready?
Woo!
All right, you guys ready? Let's go. I think you're awake now. I want to make sure. All right, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday after that incredible night last night.
And we got a full house. Give yourselves a round of applause for getting here. So we're very excited and honored to be here today. I mean, this is, the biggest honor you could have in this profession. I mean, the people that have been on this stage, looking across the room, our mentors, people that we've followed and watched for many years who have had a great impact on our life, and we have the opportunity to be in front of them. But most importantly, we have the opportunity to be a part of, in front of those who haven't been on the stage yet. Those are the people that we're excited to share our information with and help impact you. So the theme of this weekend, what has the theme of the last few days been? What's the future? That's right. But what we want to talk about, this being the last session, is what's your future? How many of you, from all the information that you've got over the last few days, have started thinking about what your future is? And how you're going to apply all this information to your life? Only a couple? Hey, I know it's early, but you guys were up here dancing, so I know it's a lot of you. Well, that's what we're going to talk about. How you can take the information, the incredible knowledge that you've gained. Is anybody taking any notes? You got books of notes like I do? Well, the millennial, we don't have books. We have these. These are full. Hopefully you didn't run out of memory. But books of notes, tons of notes. But how are you going to apply that to your life? Because what happens is, we're here in the seat, we're excited, we're fired up, we have all the information, but then something happens between here and when we get home. Even if you live across the street in Addison, things happen, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today, how you can take this information and take what's the future, but start figuring out what is your future.
So everybody get your pen, and I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to write it down. What is your goal for 1 year from today? What is your goal from 1 year today? I want to hear somebody. Who wants to share? A full-time mom.
That's awesome.
And what will that take?
That's awesome.
Anybody else want to share?
Time with my kids.
Time with kids.
How many kids you got?
5.
Awesome, man. You almost caught us. Anybody else? I like that one.
I like that one.
What's your name? Joseph. Garrett? Remember that name, Joseph. Joseph's going to be on the stage. You know, that was one of our goals. That was something that we decided when we were first here, first learned about the ANMP, is that we wanted to be up on the stage. This has been our 3rd year. The last couple years, we are fortunate to be on the couples panel and talk about how to build as a couple or build as a family. And so that's been our goal. But do you believe that you'll be on this stage in a year? Joseph, you truly believe that? I can believe it for you. I do believe it. Garrett can believe it. Curtis can believe it, but you got to believe it, right? Spending time with your kids, your 5 kids, that's a lot of time you got to spend, man. You got to find a lot of time for that. Do you truly believe that with the information you learned today, if you apply it, that you're going to be able to reach that goal in a year?
Yes.
Full-time mom? You believe it? Well, that's what it starts with. So a little bit about us. My name is Rylee Baldri. This is my beautiful wife.
I'm Rylee Baldri. We're known as the HD couple.
The HD couple, the high-definition couple. And I think our best accomplishment, other than maybe being on the stage, is we're the proud parents of
6 children.
We got you beat, buddy. You see them right there? And I'll tell you, this picture is better because you notice if you have, who here has multiple kids? How hard is it to get all the kids to look at a picture at the same time? So this is actually, this was easier to do it like this. Just, hey, let's walk and just snap the photos. And it actually comes out pretty cool. But we have 6 kids, and that's our life, okay? That's our focus. But people always come up to us and they say, oh, it's so great. You got this beautiful family. Everything's one. That's not the case. Some people say you have 6 kids. You see the blonde? You can see her in this picture here. She's 20 years old. She just turned 20 years old last week.
Happy birthday, Diamante.
And people say, yeah, 20 years old. People say, well, how old are you? I say, well, in this profession, we have access to a lot of great products. I'm 50. But in reality, I started way too young. Now, I like to talk about, we get up here and we like to talk about things that you should do, but I think it's also important to talk about things that maybe you shouldn't. So for those kids in here, I started at the age of 17, way too young. And so you can do the math there. I'm at the end of being a millennial, depending on who you look at, and then I'm at the beginning of being an old guy. So I'm in between. But I started at 17, and I had an opportunity to make a decision if I was going to let that be a reason why I couldn't do the things I wanted to, pursue my dreams, become a sports agent. Went to so much school, as Curtis mentioned. Found myself broke with tons of student debt. Became a financial advisor. Thought life was great. Started to take care of my kids, and then I lost everything. And ended up in Utah, which I love Utah, but in the wintertime, unless you ski, I don't ski. It's not the place I want to be. And I met this beautiful lady in Utah. I was planning to get in and get out, just get on my feet. I was beat sleeping in my car. I met her, and unfortunately, she wasn't my sugar mama because she didn't have anything either. But we had our love to keep us warm. So that was, we had no money. So it's not all about the money, but her background, I'll let you share a little bit about your background.
Well, as Curtis said, he already went over, a little bit about me. And I grew up in a completely different world than Dallas. I grew up in a very blue-collar family, and I lacked the knowledge of being an entrepreneur. So when I got laid off of my first real job, and at that time I had no idea. I never, ever thought that would ever happen to me. Sorry. It was a very, very tough time. And I remember thinking, this is my chance. This is my opportunity to finally do what I want to do. Not will I ever, ever let anybody tell me, one, enough, how much I'm worth. I should be able to decide what I'm worth. Two, just to get rid of me, The place that I was employed at had, when the economy crashed, it went bankrupt. And so they were one of a smaller entity of a big corporation, and we were one of the first to go. I had been promoted to president's assistant at that time, and I'm pretty sure when you're going into bankruptcy, the president's assistant will be the first to go because the president doesn't need an assistant when you have no money. They had offered me to go back into accounting, but I had already started kind of doing something on the side, and I didn't know how to go full-time, and I thought, yes, this is it. I can do this. This is my chance to get ahead and get a running start because I get a whopping 3 months of unemployment, right? So I didn't know how to do it, and I was failing hard. Or I was failing forward. I mean, it's all in perspective and how you want to look at it. Right in this time is when I met my husband.
So I get started in this crazy business of ours. I have all these degrees, more degrees than a thermometer, if somebody told me. Tons of debt. We have nothing. We're single parents. She's losing her home. I'm just trying to get off my couch, off my sister's couch, so I'm glad I'm in a home, even though it's in foreclosure, right? And we start this business with nothing. So I believed in it because I believed that as an entrepreneur in this profession that it's up to you. I knew that I wasn't going to work for anybody, just like she said. Nobody was getting jobs at that time in the United States.
Well, he had to believe it because something I didn't tell Curtis is that I was pregnant. I got pregnant within 3 months. And trust me, I knew how we did it. I thought it didn't happen to me. It wasn't going to happen to me.
You know how when people get together, they have that honeymoon stage, and Courtney, hopefully you're going through that. You're going to have that for the next forever. We had that wedding over there. I saw that honeymoon stage. That's the time where you get together. You're lovey-dovey. Oh, honey, you look so beautiful. Everything's great. I love you. I love you. I can't be without you. Hey, I miss you. It's only been a minute. That honeymoon stage, we're in that now. We didn't have that in the first year. That
it was
wasn't
a
our first
rough
year.
first year. In fact, I didn't like him very much, and I'm sure he did not like me, trust me.
Yeah, so our worst time was our beginning, and I had to believe, I had everybody telling me, go get a real job, okay? Stop doing that deal, go get a real job, and I believed that I could achieve it. So I had my goals, I believed it was up to me to make it happen, but unfortunately, when the person that you're with every day, your partner, doesn't, it can make it very difficult.
So something about all of you here, I think, is you're all out-of-the-box thinkers, right? You have to be to be in this business. You have to be an entrepreneur. And what we lacked, because we are a couple, and when you're a couple, you need to support each other, and you need to have each other's back. He lacked my belief in him. And a year into the business, I couldn't see. I was so drowned in my sorrows and feeling bad for myself, and how did I get here? And oh, poor pity me. Come on, get out of that hole. It took a year, and I finally woke up one day, and I'm like, okay, it's just $1,000 here and there. It's but he's bringing in money. Why are you not supporting your man? And that was the night I prayed, and I prayed hard. And I woke up the next day, and I said, honey, I got you. I got your back, and I am going to be there, and I'm going to do this with you. And I am in it to win it, and we're going to kill this together.
Yep. And that's what made the difference. From that point on, our careers continued to go up every single year. It's been a blessing. We involve our family, our children. If you go on YouTube, you'll probably see them, and they're going to be better business people than us. But you have to believe in yourself, right? You have to believe that whatever your goals are that you've decided here for your future based on this information, you have to believe that you can achieve every single one of those. That's the first thing. The second thing, though, is committing to them. You have to have the commitment. Because between now and when you get home, whether, like I said, it's across the street or across the world, things are going to happen. Maybe you get a flat tire. Maybe your plane's delayed. Maybe you miss your flight. Maybe you get home and you have that spouse, the negative partner. A lot of us do. A lot of us, maybe you have that. And you get, what were you doing for 4 days, wasting our money, wasting our time? Where were you? Why were you doing that? Or maybe you go to work on Monday and they ask you what you were doing. You're so fired up. You're so excited. You're telling them your goals. And what do they say to you? Come on. Really? Get real. Get real and get in your cubicle.
Get a real job.
So
I said it.
So you got to commit. You have to decide right now that you're going to commit no matter what happens. No matter what. You get a call on the way back, maybe somebody in your family's sick. We hope not. But it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, how big you are, if you're just getting started, if you're a multi-million-dollar earner, it doesn't matter. You are going to face obstacles. And you have to commit right now, right here, that no matter what happens, you are not going to let anything stop you with that goal that you're deciding today for your future. Who's with me?
I want to see everybody's hands up. Everybody should be here committed. Are you committed?
Let me see that again, because I'm going to take a picture and post it, and this is proof right here, because when you tell the world that you're committed, there's something funny about public accountability, right? So when your coworker makes fun of you, you know what? In a year from now, I committed, I'm here. And that's why I'm spending time with my kids. That's why I'm a full-time mom. And that's why Joseph's on stage here next year. Make sure you're here to come see him.
We have a rule in our house. And this is my rule. I was raised by my father. And he taught me, you go all in or you don't do it at all. It's a 150% rule. Anything less than that, and you are cheating yourself. You're cheating what you can get out of yourself. You're cheating your results.
Trust me, when I go 90%, she reminds me. If I go 80%, you better watch out. This is the best coach. So a question that we get asked is, well, how do you get your partner who may be not on board? How do you get them to be on the same mission as you? At least support you. They don't have to work with you. They don't have to go to the meetings. They don't have to do presentations. They don't have to make the post on social media. But how do you get that partner to commit to you? And it goes back to you believing, because if you don't believe, for sure they ain't gonna believe, okay? Believing and committing. If they see that unwavering commitment, eventually, they're going to come around. Because what I told her when she was saying, this is crazy, what are you doing? My mom even said, go get a job. I said, give me a year. Give me a year. She saw my commitment. She saw my belief. And finally, she said, you know what? Let's do it. And so we're doing it. So that's how you do it, okay? I'm telling you. But if you have that commitment and those obstacles come around, it's not going to stop you. The negativity is not going to stop you.
There's going to be sacrifices. You're not going to get to spend time with your 5 children. Not like you want to in the beginning. Not if you are serious and not if you're really committed. And that's the ugly truth. We work our tails off. We grind. You want to build this business? You want 60,000 people in your downline? You are going to grind, and you're going to grind hard. Are you ready for the next level? That's my question, are you ready for the next level?
I'm ready.
Because that comes with the commitment. That's the sacrifice that you're going to have to decide right now. Am I willing to take my partying off this weekend? Am I going to get the mentality of the 9 to 5 thinking out of my head? It's not 9 to 5. It's 9 to 9. It's 10 to 10. What I'm getting at, it's 24/7.
24/7. Who in here wants to build a global business? Yeah! With social media, you can build a business anywhere, anytime from your phone. That's the beauty of what we do. We've built businesses in, I count 32 plus countries, been on the ground speaking, training at over 16 of them. Every single one of those countries that we launched came from social media. So all this stuff that you've heard, it's real and it works. And I know none of you are average in here. Okay? I know none of you are average. And something that I always tell people and tell our team is successful people use obstacles as motivation. Average people use them as excuses. There's things that are going to happen that are going to try to break that and test that commitment. But what are you going to do? Use that as motivation? Or use that as an excuse or a reason on why you can't? I can't build a global business because I don't have time. I can't build a global business because I'm broke, or I'm sick, or I'm taking care of a loved one, or I'm fighting with my spouse, or I'm getting divorced. It does not matter. That should be a motivation for you. Now, something else that's going to happen when you leave here and you get ready to put everything into action, you're going to get that ugly feeling of fear. You're going to have that fear set in. If we got hired to work at McDonald's tomorrow, I'd be a little nervous. I probably wouldn't sleep tonight. I'd have butterflies. Well, how do I do the cash register and flip the burgers? I don't want to burn the fries. It's something new.
If I had to work any job, I'd be scared, okay?
Yeah, anything, okay? Any new job. That's true. But how do you get over that fear? By doing it. By taking action. So to overcome that fear that you're going to get, that's going to set in, you have to take action. Massive, massive action. But with that action, you can't just do it once. You can't just do it a few times. You can't just do it for this week, this month, next month. This is the queen of it. How often should they do that action?
Every single day.
And what's the key to doing that?
Consistency.
Exactly.
There are 2 types of people. There are people who have a goal, and they see a goal. And they will do anything to get to that goal. There are people who see the obstacles. They have every excuse. Which person are you going to be?
You got to decide that right now.
Thank you, everybody. Dallas and Rylee Baldri.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You couldn't keep me down. It just ain't no good if the
Dallas and Rylee Baldri! Ow! Come on! We've got a few extras in the room. Let's make some noise. Oh, yes! ANMP. I got to tell you, I just still see the chicken thing last night. I mean, the outfit, the whole bit. It was an image I just couldn't get out of my head. Sorry, just a Private Richard thing. Lewis Carroll once said, in fact, this is important because I chose this specifically because of the person that it's just a thrill to introduce next. Lewis Carroll once said, if you have no idea where you're going, any road will get you there. I am about to introduce you to someone who's never needed to find another road. It's an extraordinary story. In fact, we were just talking about it backstage. I said, gosh, I wish I'd have had that kind of an epiphany. At 9 years old, she read Russell Conwell's Acres of Diamonds. Now, an extraordinary book about self-development, self-help, personal development, and growth. And something in the wiring went bzz. And at 9 years old, she said, that's what I want to do. I want to help people. Now, she was blessed. I'd asked, she said, I had parents who always were encouraging, supportive, there's no limit. But at 9, I knew that I wanted to grow, and I wanted to help people do the same. And so that became her passion. She said that one of the keys to her success, she thinks really brings it. And the reality is, she is in one of those circumstances where she could sit down, lay back, hang on the beach, and enjoy, for the rest of her life, whatever she wanted. And she brings it every day as if she's just beginning. Now, I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way, but ladies and gentlemen, get ready to experience energy on steroids. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the one and only Miss Margie Alaprande!